Have you ever felt like you're carrying a huge weight on your shoulders? A weight so heavy it feels like a mountain. We all carry them. Mountains of regret, of unspoken words, of past hurts and future fears. We trudge along, day after day, wondering why we're so tired, why the path is so steep, without realizing it's the mountain on our own back that's holding us down. I want to tell you a story. It's an old story, one you might have heard in different forms, but its truth is timeless. It's about two monks, an old, wise master and his young, eager apprentice, walking along a muddy riverbank. They were on a long journey, a pilgrimage to a distant monastery. The path was difficult, washed out by recent rains, and their robes were heavy with mud. As they rounded a bend, they saw a young woman standing by the river, looking distressed. She was beautifully dressed in a silk kimono, clearly not prepared for the muddy conditions. She needed to cross the river but was afraid of ruining her fine clothes, and perhaps even being swept away by the current. The young apprentice, bound by strict vows that forbade him from even looking at, let alone touching, a woman, averted his eyes and prepared to walk past. He expected his master to do the same, but the old monk did something unexpected. He walked up to the woman, smiled kindly, and without a word, he lifted her onto his back. He carried her across the swirling muddy water and gently set her down on the other side. She bowed deeply, thanking him profusely, and then hurried on her way. The old monk simply nodded and continued his journey. The young apprentice was stunned. He was speechless. How could his master, a man he revered for his discipline and wisdom, so blatantly break their sacred vows? He hurried to catch up, his mind a whirlwind of confusion and judgment. He wanted to say something, to question his master, but the words wouldn't come. So, they walked, and walked. For hours, they walked in silence. The sun climbed higher in the sky, beating down on them. The young monk's inner turmoil grew with every step. He replayed the scene at the river over and over in his mind. The way his master had lifted her, the rustle of her silk dress, the way she had smiled. It felt like a betrayal. His respect for his master was being eroded by a growing sense of disappointment and anger. He felt the weight of this incident settle upon him, heavy and suffocating. It was his own mountain, and it was growing larger with every silent step. Finally, as dusk began to settle and they approached the gates of their destination, the young monk couldn't bear it any longer. The pressure inside him was too great. He burst out, his voice trembling with pent-up emotion. "Master, how could you? We are forbidden to touch a woman, yet you carried that one across the river. You broke our sacred vows." The old monk stopped walking. He turned to face his young student, his eyes calm and filled with a gentle compassion. He looked at the apprentice's flushed, angry face for a long moment. Then, he smiled softly and said, "I set that woman down by the river hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" And in that one simple question, the world shifted for the young apprentice. He suddenly understood. His master had performed an act of simple compassion, a practical solution to an immediate problem. Once the problem was solved, he let it go completely. He didn't dwell on it, didn't analyze it, didn't let it weigh him down. He had put the woman down and walked on, his mind as free and unburdened as it was before. But the young monk, he had been the one carrying her. He had carried her in his mind, in his judgment, in his anger, for miles and miles. The weight he felt wasn't the woman, it was his own thoughts about the event. He was carrying a mountain of resentment that his master had never even picked up. How many of us do this every single day? How many women by the river are we still carrying, long after the moment has passed? That argument you had with a loved one last week, the mistake you made at work last month, that embarrassing thing you said years ago that you're sure everyone remembers, the hurtful comment from a stranger online. These are our mountains. We pick them up, we hoist them onto our backs, and we carry them. We carry mountains of regret, of what-ifs and should-haves. We carry mountains of anger towards people who have long forgotten the incident that wronged us. We carry mountains of anxiety about futures that haven't happened and may never happen. We think we are walking our path, but really, we are just struggling under the weight of our own baggage. Letting go is not about forgetting. It's not about pretending the hurt didn't happen, or that the mistake wasn't made. The old monk didn't deny carrying the woman. He acknowledged it. Letting go is about acknowledging the event, learning what you can from it, and then setting it down. It's about choosing not to let the past poison your present. It's the conscious decision to say, "I put that down hours ago. I am no longer carrying it." Think about the energy it takes to carry a mountain. The mental energy, the emotional strain. It drains us, makes us bitter, robs us of the joy of the present moment. The young monk couldn't enjoy the journey, the beauty of the landscape, or the companionship of his master, because he was so consumed by the weight of his judgment. He was physically present on the path, but his mind was stuck back at the river. What mountains are you carrying right now? Take a moment, truly. Close your eyes if you need to. Picture them, feel their weight. Is it the mountain of a past relationship, a career failure, a family disagreement, an insecurity that has followed you since childhood? Now, I want you to imagine yourself standing at the side of a river, just like the old monk. See the mountain on your back, acknowledge it, thank it. Even it has taught you something, made you stronger in some way, but its purpose is served. It is time to set it down. Visualize yourself shrugging it off your shoulders. Feel the immediate lightness, the release of tension. Watch it sit there on the riverbank as you turn and walk away. You don't need to throw it in the river or destroy it. You just need to leave it behind. You need to choose to stop carrying it. This isn't a one-time fix. We will encounter new rivers, and our old habit of picking up burdens is strong. The practice is to become more like the old monk, to become aware, in the moment, of what we are picking up. To ask ourselves, is this something I need to carry with me for the next 5 miles, 5 days, or 5 years? Most of the time, the answer is no. The journey of life is long and challenging enough, without us adding unnecessary weight to our own backs. The path ahead is full of beauty, lessons, and new experiences. But we can only embrace them with open arms and a light heart if we are not crushed under the weight of what we've left behind. Learn to put the woman down by the river. Learn to leave the mountain on the shore. Your journey will become infinitely lighter, and you'll finally be able to see the beautiful destination you've been walking towards all along. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more stories about navigating our inner worlds. I'd love to read your thoughts in the comments. What's one small pebble, or maybe even a mountain, that you're choosing to set down today? Take care and walk lightly.